can you see this person's perspective,
Right.
but can you see beyond this barrier that is in front of you right now? And we do get to that place of gratitude and actually appreciation. Now, it takes us refusing to stay in a victim mindset in order to do that.
Welcome in, everybody. I'm
Hello.
so glad to see you, Teri Pugh.
I'm so glad to see you with one eye, Devon O'Day.
I know it's the week of the star. It's the crazy week. We got a waxing full moon, and so closer to the full moon, things get weird. Stuff starts happening, and man, I've never had anything so painful in my life than when I had an eye infection.
Yeah, I don't. My understanding is that when I went out and cut the grass this past week, some kind of funk got in my lash area and it just got angry. And now it's just angry. And this, believe it or not, sister, this looks good. Yesterday, I was telling people, call me Teri Balboa, because I was literally walking around like this. I was like, I can't open this eye. It was so swollen.
It hurts so bad. So I'm just glad that you're here with us, and I'm glad that you're on the mend. Got some of some nice ointment, and it's so funny because people ask me, "Go, well, what did you do for yours?" I go, "Look, I use whatever I use on my horses."
Yeah. Well, my doctor gave me an eye ointment, so I've been using that. But I also, had people say, use a gold ring, rub it on denim, get it warm, put it on your eye. That's an old wives' tale. Hey, I'm not opposed to using anything that my great-great-grandmother might have used, because back in the day before we had eye ointment and everything else, we did have all that natural stuff. It just happened to be that when I sent my picture sent my doctor the picture, she was like, holy cow, like, yikes. So but this is worlds better than what it has been, and I am so grateful that it's on the mend, no matter how horrible it looks. I'm saving on makeup. I only have to do half my face, so it's all good.
See, that's the way to reframe it. That's the way to reframe it. Hey, y'all, tomorrow, just on your way home from work, come see us. We want to meet y'all in person. We're going to have our open house at the office, 4701 Trousdale Drive, Suite 108. Teri and I are going to be there, and and if y'all don't show up, it's just going to be me and Teri, and we're going to eat all the snacks and have a good time. But if you'd like to be part of what we do, we have this. Teri has created the most beautiful space, and so from 5:30 to 7:30 tomorrow night, we're going to be there.
We are, and we might just have some door prizes.
Oh my gosh, I just love it. I just love it. We got people who are joining us.
Yeah,
Candy is there, and Candy, I know that you're not going to be able to be there because you're across the pond. You're across the pond, Candy, but
that's right. She'll be there in spirit with us.
I know you will. I know you will. We might have to do a Facebook Live just because we're there. Elizabeth, good morning, Elizabeth. Elizabeth, just letting you know, I got my passport, girl. I got my passport. I was worried. Thank you to Congressman John Rose's office. Kim Mash in that office helped me. So God bless you. And Candy saying, wish you better, Teri.
Oh, thank you, Candy. I'm already better. My eye just needs to catch up.
God bless Joy. She's with us today. And Corinne is here. Yay. Yay. Michelle is here. Oh, good. And Candy said she'll join us. Have a great time. Of course. And Leslie's with us. I know. Leslie's going with us to Ireland too. There's a whole bunch of us in this little group that's going to Ireland. And the response has been so good. They said, do you want to do one of these every year? And we won't have to go to the same place. We won't repeat a place, but
man, now see, and I just wish I had already made plans to go to Montana on the 14th through the 17th or 18th. And the person I was traveling with canceled those plans. And if I'd have known that was going to come down, I would have gone to Ireland with y'all beauties, because that sounds like so much fun. You can count me in for next year, wherever we're going. I'm down for it.
I'm excited. Well, we'll make a combo launch date trip. Oh my gosh. Everybody is here. Rhonda just joined us. Oh, okay. Elizabeth, I have to mute for a phone call. See, but when you work from home, you work from home, and we get
That's
that.
right.
That's why the playback works really, really well. Well, Teri, you've got another workshop coming up, and I thought that would kick us into a conversation. It's the Hugging It Out workshop, April 29th, and that's going to be held in the office.
It is.
And I've been to your Hug It Out workshop, and I just loved it. I
Yeah. It's a lot of fun. This workshop, a lot of people, see it and they're like, hugging it out. What I mean, it's a hug, but it's really not. What we're going to talk about in here is the physiological benefits of a hug. We're going to talk about the emotional benefits of a hug. We're going to talk about the ways of hugging and why some people are a little standoffish with hugging and other people just embrace it. Some people hug too hard. Like I know someone that I adore as a human being, but I don't want them hugging me because when they hug me, they hug and then they dig in with their fingers, like, love you so much. And it's just like, ow, like that's not pleasant. Then some people hug and they do that pat thing, like they're trying to dust you off a little bit. And then you got the side huggers, and you got the A-frame, the ones that like hug like this because they're afraid if anything touches, then, you're going to get the hoochie cooties or something. I'm not sure what. So we're going to talk about all that and also about collectively how we as a society, community, and nation and world in general, not just from 2020, but just over the years have become touch deprived and how so many people don't actually get physical touch. I have people tell me the only time I get physically touched is if I, am greeting someone and we shake hands or we hug, or I'll have other people say the only time I'm physically touched is if I go to the doctor's office, and they pat me on the back or they're, testing my reflexes. And to me, that is just such a sad, sad thing. I understand fully that a lot of people don't like touch. I have some people in my life that I'm very close to and think the world of, and they're just not touchy-feely people. So they don't want to be touched and they don't want to touch. And
I got it.
you have to respect that. But at the same time, you also have to put yourself in environments where you can nurture that part of yourself because there's things out there that say you need 8 hugs a day or 20 hugs a day. And that can be a little disheartening for people when they're like, well, God, I live alone. How am I going to get 20 hugs a day kind of thing? So I don't really go by that scale so much as I do being around people that are that good energy that we can hug and we can embrace and connect with. And, that connectivity is so important. It's so, so important.
We have come out of in Nashville alone. Our last week was full of grief, and you did a Zoom meeting to work with people with grief. And that's kind of where I met you, in a place of grief as a grief counselor first. But I want to find out what are some things that we can do to make ourselves feel better? I loved this little note that you put on Facebook. And I love this start. I'm so very sorry that someone you love or loved made you feel like you are hard to love. Let's just start there. Let's just talk to the people and you guys weigh in. I venture to say that is something that a lot of people deal with.
Yes.
That someone early in life has made them feel hard to love. And that's something that we carry with us. How do we make ourselves feel better from that?
Well, it's not so much making ourselves feel better as much as it is allowing ourselves to feel better. Because surrounding ourselves with people, whether they're near or far, who allow us to be ourselves, they allow us to love them and to appreciate them, allows them to love and appreciate us. And sometimes we are raised in environments where we are told we're too much trouble, we're too loud, we're too shy, we're too whatever. And so that's not really who we are. That's just the projection and the label that's put on us. And then when you adult out and you get in relationships, most of the time people, if they haven't addressed or changed that, then they get into relationships where they feel like they're the problem, or they're just, I just need to do this differently so they'll love me differently. And sometimes we just link up with people who, it's not that you're hard to love, it's that deep down inside they're not ready to be loved. And so when that isn't reconciled, we end up feeling like we're hard to love, or, you're hard to love, you're hard to be liked, you need too much, you ask for too much. If you're asking for peace of mind and happiness, I'm here to tell you, sisters and brothers, you're not asking for too much at all.
Suzanne and Mark just joined us, and Rhonda kicks off this with, I think social media has a lot to do with less interaction with people as a whole, as well as texting. I'm actually going back to letter writing.
Yeah. Well, and social media is also, in the time of 2020, social media was huge for people because it was a way that we connected. I'm a letter writer. I just sat down and wrote a ton of cards out this week and sent some out. I just started thinking about people, and I just, wrote out and sent them cards. And, I don't see anything wrong. I love that version of connectivity. But for some people, there is, some people, social media is their only outlet that they have to connect. And so for that, that's a good thing. But also, we can't deny that cell phone use has allowed us to disconnect more than it has connected.
Yeah. Candy says, I met the best person I know through social media. Just saying. I know. We love you. We love you, Candy. And Corinne said, I met some really cool people via social media. True. And I like it as well. I always say social media is like anything. I said, it's like, I saw my friend Marsha Ramirez write, and she was remarking about hammers, and it got into a different subject matter, but a hammer can be used to hammer a nail. It can be used as a paperweight to hold something down. It can be used to hurt someone. It depends on how you want to use your hammer. Social media is a hammer. You can use it to connect and say, oh my gosh, where is this friend of mine that I haven't talked to in 40 years?
Right.
And connecting like that. Or you can use it to compare yourself to the persons that you haven't seen in 40 years. Joyce says, I want to come to the hugging event. I'll be confirming.
Well,
Joyce, you're going to love it.
You will love it, Joyce.
So cool.
It's so fun.
Now, what were you saying about social media?
I was just saying, social media also, you talk about being that hammer. Sometimes social media, people put blindfolds on and they just hammer away at everything because they're disgruntled in their own life. And so that's not really playing fair. That's, I mean, I get it. People do it, but you just got to kind of, I don't know why this dropped in my head, but I'm going to say it, and it's totally inappropriate. But those are probably the same people that fart and leave the room. It's just that kind of thing where they put the ugliness out there, the stink out there, and then they walk away from it, and ha ha ha, I feel better. But it's like, but are you really a better human because of that? I don't think so. And I'm not here to judge, but I'm just saying, you got to own it.
Corinne really liked that with Teri. And Rhonda talks about the balance, the balance between social media and actual interaction with somebody.
And got to have interaction. I 100% agree with Rhonda on that. Got to have interaction with other human beings. I'm going to start a thing. When we did the last workshop, the Sage Sisters workshop, a couple of weeks ago, I had several of those women reach out and say, can we just do this like every couple of months, just get together and just hang out, and I was like, sure. So we're going to start that where I think our next one is it's either the end of May or first part of June, where we're just going to get together. There's no charge to it. There's nothing. Bring your sack lunch. We're going to sit there for however long you want to sit there. We'll be there, for the good part of the day, just in circle and just talking about whatever comes up and, and just doing what our grandparents used to do. sitting around, and I can't promise we're going to be snapping green beans, but I can't promise we won't be either, but we're going to sit around and just catch up and talk and get to know just how similar we are and just create a community that way. Now that will carry on into, live forums and social media, because people will keep in touch that way. And they'll keep in touch by texting and calling, but it is just that connection, because sometimes no matter how many people we got around us, we don't necessarily have people around us all the time that feed our soul. And that doesn't mean they're bad people. It just means they don't feed our soul. And I just saw something popped up there about Joyce and food. And I hope that if she comes, I'm going to have to pay her to bring some of those cookies that she brought last time, because that was good.
Candy says she wishes she was near. She says also, if you come on the next trip to Ireland, that she's going to go.
Well, there you go. Well, we'll FaceTime you when we do the group circle, Candy, and you can just participate via technology. So
yeah, because technology can be good. We can all use it, and sometimes it can be bad. But you know what? If it weren't for technology, we would not have this show. Right. If we didn't have social media, we wouldn't have this show.
Absolutely.
And Joy says, "Oh no, for sure I'll bring some cookies for everyone." I love it. Angie says, "I love social media for connecting with people and have met some lifelong friends, but I hate it for the hate and drama it can cause also."
Yeah. I'm real good about unfollowing, and just like I just will unfollow people. I go through my thread every few weeks. And if I see stuff popping up that's like for shock value, or it's just what I call low vibration. It's just like, it's not things that I see that I think are like, wow, that's information driven. That's an awareness for me, but it's just not nice stuff, I'll unfollow those people. I don't need to make a big scene about it and post, I'm going to start unfollowing people. I think that's ridiculous. We're just looking for attention when we do that. We just need to unfollow the people and the pages that don't enrich us.
And here's another thing. Don't get butthurt over someone unfriending you, because that person might not have unfriended you. There are some weird things that every now and then I get, I'll find that somebody has been unfriended from me, and I'm going, well, I didn't do that. Just understand that sometimes a cell phone doesn't connect. Sometimes people don't get their text or their emails. Sometimes things happen that keep us from being able to connect, but don't blame the person.
And even if they did unfriend you, because maybe they just don't like you. Maybe, I've been unfriended by people I went to high school with, and that's okay. We're just not reading at the same speed, and that's okay. I don't get upset about that. Everybody has the right to follow or not follow who they want to. So I think, just keep it light. That's what it is. Social media. We're not talking about rocket science or heart transplants here. This is social media.
I know. Come on, Corinne. I love you so much. I scroll through the crap and will block the negative folks. I can learn from anyone, but I don't need crap.
There you go. Exactly, Corinne. Exactly.
I love it. Miranda. Hey, Miranda Sullivan. So glad you're here. I only involve myself with positive people. And if it's a friend who's having a bad day, I go to prayers. That's awesome. I love social media for that. If someone needs prayers, that's part of my prayer time. It's like, that's my prayer list. I kind of go through and people ask for that, and I love it. And Corinne said, sometimes I hit the wrong button. Poof. That's why I don't get upset with anybody. That's so funny.
Exactly.
Okay. Rhonda, this one's a little long, so I might concise. Here's another example. People see me rolling around in my wheelchair, and they may think everything's pie and ice cream, and it may or may not be. If it wasn't for technology, I wouldn't be able to be as independent as I am. Both of my service dogs have taught me how to love and be loved. Right. That's the truth. Animals get it. They get it. Let's talk about some things that make us feel better, that get the serotonin going. I mean, our diet has a lot to do with making us feel better. We've had some depressing things in the news. even if we didn't want to hear the news, we heard the news this last week. And that's okay. So let's talk about those things in diet that we can do nutritionally.
Oh gosh. I mean, there's, well, first you have to know what your body tolerates and what it doesn't tolerate. And sometimes that's a bigger ticket than just being able to, maybe choose healthier foods for you. Diet is a big one. And without getting into like all the do's and the don'ts, I mean, obviously staying away from sugars and staying away from complex carbs and things like that in large quantities, that's healthier for you. Staying away from caffeine is healthier for you. But there's a lot of people that like sugar and caffeine. So knock yourself out. If that's your jam, take it. But just think about moderation. Get some water in your body, hydrate your body. Maybe not as much salt in your body, but also rest. And also sitting outside for a few minutes with your feet in the grass or just with the breeze blowing and just being outside. I'm sitting here right now, Devon, and, I know on one of our very, very, very first launch dates that we did many, many, many moons ago, I made reference to the dogwood tree in my front yard that I have had the good fortune as a result of 2020 to watch it go from naked and twiggy to buddy to full bloom, and then the complete life cycle of it. And as I look out the door right now, there she is. She's in just all of her bright pink, and she's just, floating around out there, and the birds are, flying around. And all I can think is I can't wait just to go sit on the front porch in just a little bit and just be in that breeze and just be. Allow our body to invite and allow itself to release our oxytocins and our serotonins and our dopamines, and to regulate our cortisol and get us feeling good. Good music. Music is something that music is so healing. And, it doesn't have to be lyrical. It can just be tunes, or you're the music person. I'm not the music guru here, but whether it's a voice or whether it's just an instrumental, music is so, so healing and yummy,
Those are all things that trigger us. Some of the things nutritionally for me, I fight the blues a lot. So sunshine and being outdoors is a big thing. Food wise, bananas and walnuts in my diet, they fight depression. So whatever it is, those are two things. Bananas and walnuts. Who knew? So you can just add those things into your life. As far as music, binaural beats off YouTube, it's free and it's there. But I have some of those that literally put me into a euphoria just for listening for just a little bit. And I've never listened with earbuds with them. I've just had the phone there. I bought me some earbuds just so I can try it with earbuds.
Ooh, girl, that's a whole different experience. It is. It really is. Because, and I'll tell you why, because when you put the earbuds in, you are directly, like it already muffles out a lot of the stuff. So it's going right in, and it's just delicious.
Those are some things that are good. Why is a hug more nutritious for our spirit than a handshake?
Well, because hugs, when held for, it sounds like 20 seconds is always the magic number for touch, but and for body movement. But hugs held for approximately 20 seconds actually release our oxytocin. It activates our oxytocin in our body, and our oxytocin is our feel good. It's our connecting. It's the one that's wrapped in all the warm and fuzzies. And so handshakes can feel handshakes can be welcoming, but they also have a tendency to feel very formal. And a hug is very much an embrace. And so plus with handshakes, our society in a handshake game gets around to, do you have a strong handshake or a wimpy handshake, or is it a half handshake, or is it a fist bump, or is it a whatever? And it doesn't matter. Whatever your jam is your jam. I greet every client that I see, and most people that I see, if we're moving into like a physical interaction, I'll ask them, are you a hugger or a shaker? And most people will say, I prefer a handshake. Well, actually, that's not
Mhm.
true. Most people will say, I'm a hugger. But
Mhm.
some people will say,
Miranda, I'm a hugger.
yeah. And some people will say, I prefer a handshake. And I can tell you without fail that there are clients and people that I have met that we start off, they'll say, I'm a shaker. And so, I'll shake their hand and welcome them. And without me prompting it, when we get ready to leave, I'll say, have a great week. And they will say in certain different ways, I'll take that hug now,
Oh, I love
and
it.
they'll take a hug. And
Yeah.
so, I've got clients that when they come in the door, let's get the hug in first. Like that's just where they go. That's where they are. And
Yeah.
part of that is because there's such a good feeling. It's a welcome. It's an embrace. We're holding space and we're holding people when we do that.
Yeah.
And we somewhere in the late 70s, early mid 80s. It got away from a lot of touch just because from a social standpoint, it
Right.
became, it was not cool for little girls to sit on their dad's laps. And it just, we just took a really, I don't know, kind of turn where people quit being as touchy feely. And in some people's cases, that's probably a really good idea. But in other
Mhm.
people's, just for the innocence and the connection of hugging, it wasn't.
Good, clean touch is real and it's possible.
Yeah.
Angie says you can feel so much through a hug. You can tell when someone hugs you and means it. I'm a hugger. I love
Hmm.
that.
Hmm.
And Joy says, I'm a great hugger that does hold on when I hug.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's the other thing, people will say, well, there's an etiquette with hugging. You have to know when to let go. And I'm like, read the other person. Like sometimes people are hugging, and if they're in a bereaved state or they're in a sad state or a grieving state, they don't care how long you stand there and hold them. They just want to know that if they collapse, you've got them. That's what they
Mm.
want to know, is that if they get ready to collapse, you have them. And that's huge. The other thing is nothing is formal about a hug.
Mhm.
It's just not. I remember when I was working at Vanderbilt, I had a student there that was a PhD student, and I don't think she listens to us, but she follows me on social media. And I remember she came from a family that did not hug. They did not hug. And so when she first came in and we were interacting with one another, I asked her, was she a hugger or a shaker? And she was like, neither. And then over time, she was like, I just don't know how to hug. Like, I don't even
Mhm.
know, like, I feel silly. I don't know how to do that. And so we did, like, literally, I showed her how to hug, and from that point through the rest of her PhD program, and any time that she comes into town after
Wow.
that, she looks for the hugs. And it was because she never knew what she was missing. And her kids now are huggers because of what she allowed herself to experience.
Wow. It changes everything. Touch is good. Another thing to make yourself feel better, massage. Now, massage is something that it's very invasive to some people, but for those people, and you go, I don't want to be naked on the table in a room with anybody. That's fine.
Well, you don't have to
Chair.
be naked in them. You don't have to. If you go to a massage therapist, you can get
Mhm.
on the table and you can stay fully clothed, and they can still massage you to they're not going to like put cream and oil and all that and get all in there, but they can still massage you with clothes on. You never
Mhm.
have to get undressed. When I was actively massaging, the standard is undressed to the level of your comfort. If
See, and people don't know that when they go in. So
Yeah.
I want to let you know, the physical touch is important and it's good for you. Chair massage.
Hmm.
If those are fantastic and you can get a lot done with a chair massage. A reflexology where they just
Hmm.
touch your feet. Oh my gosh, your
Hmm.
ears and your hands. And you don't take anything off except your shoes. And it's
Hmm.
just amazing. So do things that nourish you, make you feel better. And by all means, enjoy some good weather and sunshine when it's beautiful days. Don't miss a beautiful day staying inside.
Right. And just for those everybody may know this and you might not know this, but our skin is our largest organ. Like a lot of
Mhm.
times people are like, oh, it's our brain, it's our heart, it's our whatever. It's our skin.
Mhm.
And we have so
Thank God it's
many,
not my liver. I quit drinking.
we have so many touch receptors and muscle memory. And, there's a circulatory plus and a boost that comes from allowing ourselves to touch. And if you're not around people, you can self massage yourself. You can massage your hands, you can rub
Mhm.
your legs, you can stimulate your body, like as far as your skin and your circulatory system. You can
Yeah.
definitely do that. But also, don't miss out on opportunities when people say, could you use a hug? If you could use a hug, say yes. you
Yeah.
know
Don't
and
deprive yourself.
mm-mm.
And if you'd like to go to the Hug It Out workshop, again, that's April 29th. You get in touch with Teri. You can call her number for those who
Mm-hmm.
are not watching this and you're listening, 615-513-2700. And that is the number you can call for all the details on that. Or come by and see us tomorrow night. We're going to be at the office.
Yes.
And here's the info there. And you can reach out to me or to Teri if you want to find out, and if you'd like to bring a snack, you can bring a snack. If you don't have to bring a snack, we'll have some snacks there. So
Mm-hmm.
be part of what we do. We are so glad. We'll have some hugs tomorrow night.
Girl, don't you know it? Now, my little sty-eye will be there with me in tow, but hopefully she won't be as angry as she is right now, but she's not contagious. So I'm taking Jack to his 4-week checkup today.
Oh,
And so then I'm going to go to the grocery after I bring him home and get our stuff, our snacks for tomorrow night for our open house.
Candy says, I like massaging my upper body only. I just get back, neck, and shoulders. That's absolutely fine. Miranda says, you are so amazing, Teri.
And you are too, Miranda. Big hugs to you.
Love to you, Miranda. James says, hello, beautiful lady. Hello.
Hello.
Prayers for Jack, Joyce says. And Elizabeth says, still on the phone. See you both tomorrow at the open house. I love it. So hugs to everybody. Reach
Yes.
me, Devon O'Day at Gmail. And Teri, you want to take us home?
I do. You guys can reach me at terrypugh.com or leave a message below. And as always, we appreciate you choosing to spend your time and your energy with us and sharing with us, because you are the reason that we are here. And we do truly appreciate and love each and every one of you. And until we see you tomorrow night, or, if we see you tomorrow night, we get to hug and increase the peace. And until we see you next week, please take time to get out and enjoy some weather, get your feet in the grass, get a couple of hugs, and increase your peace.